So yesterday, some sad news from England. Queen Elizabeth did pass away. Family and the country is in mourning, understandably so. They loved her over there. She sat on the throne for 70 years, quite a long time. Lovely person, from what I've seen. I'm not the most informed on royal family stuff. I have looked through the history of the royal family in England before, but I'm not from the UK. But I do understand that she was very loved and people like her and they like the traditions of the monarchy. It's the culture. And what's always crazy to me is how people will jump on these to try to push issues right after somebody passes away. So she literally passed away yesterday, and it didn't even take 24 hours for blue check marks and journalists and all of them to move in and use her to try to get some kind of Twitter clout. It's disgusting. And I thought about not even doing this video, but then I decided it's better to show this behavior because these blue checkmark journalist people are some of the worst people in our society. And it's because of stuff like this. You know, if you don't have anything nice to say, this is a very basic lesson. This is a very basic lesson. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And in this case, I think that applies. You could be big social justice advocate, whatever, but don't you think that there should be a period where you allow people to mourn? I think that would be appropriate, right? This happened with Kobe Bryant, too. Remember when Kobe Bryant died? Literally 30 minutes after he died in that helicopter crash, people were out there shaming him, talking about mistakes that he has made in the past, like bringing up all the negative stuff. When this is a time you should talk about the positive stuff. It's just disgusting. It's literally hours after this woman passed away, these clowns jump in and decide this is the best time to shame her for what? I don't know. Seems to have lived a pretty scandalous-free life. They jump in, and then they start talking about colonialism, British Empire, all this stuff. It's disgusting. And there's a whole lot of it, too. I'm not kidding. A Cat 10 barge, not wasting any time. 10 and barge. You'll know her name from the JDAH trial. Very pro Camp AH. She's out there putting her 2 cents on why the Queen is awful. She and her family are responsible for so much evil in the world. That's their history. I'm not going to spend too much time on her. I just want to show you this is the mindset of the journalist. So here's what happened. Bunch of wokey liberals that write, some of them that write for the New York Times are professors. They wasted no time attacking the colonizer queen. Hours after she died. Then they took to Twitter and started mocking her. Surprisingly, they're saying here that Twitter took down a vile post mocking her. That's interesting. They usually don't do that. Nice that they get a little bit of class for once. It's just disgusting. So opinion writers from the New York Times, Atlantic, no surprise there on the Atlantic, by the way. New York Magazine openly celebrated the death of Queen Elizabeth on Thursday. Love celebrated her death. This is a New York Magazine writer. She's been there since December. Devoted his evening update dinner party to the death of the Queen. Love celebrated her death, describing someone who's been sucking up the Earth's resources for 96 years. I'm supposed to be quiet, or better yet, actually mourn what was a barely breathing, glad, force flex trash bag. Please no, he wrote. I want to show you his post here. I think this is the gentleman right here. And this is his post. Using a picture from Drago, from Rocky IV with Drago, saying if he dies, he dies. This is, of course, in reference to when Apollo Creed had been killed by him and was about to die in the ring. And his response was, if he dies, he dies. So that's probably the nastiest, in my opinion, that I've seen. And then there was more. University of Michigan professor Ebony Elizabeth Thomas said thoughts of Diana and Meghan Markle kept her from feeling any sadness about the monarch's death. And then Lindsay Boylan, an unsuccessful candidate for Manhattan Borough President, said that her Irish grandparents would be pleased. Many tweets zeroed in on the effects of colonialism under the Queen's reign and painted her as a violent tyrant, which I've never heard anybody say about that woman, ever. Now, I don't know what's going on with all the history with the Queen or any of this stuff, like the Irish stuff. I don't know what happened there. I saw a lot of people talking about that. I just think that it's an inappropriate time to attack someone right now. And there's people out there that have pretty negative thoughts or nasty feelings about some things or people. Maybe don't post them 48 hours after someone passes away. Because at the end of the day, she was a celebrity and a big figurehead over in the UK, but she's also a mother and a woman with a family. And there's still people, and they should be allowed to mourn without people calling their loved one a pile of trash. If she was an actual tyrant, maybe it would be a little bit different. But it seems like most people genuinely loved the woman and really liked her. That's everything I ever saw. She had a pretty controversy-free reign from what I've seen, except for the Diana stuff. That's a long time ago. And, how much of that is on her? I don't know. I'm not an expert in this stuff. All I know is there's a time and place, and this ain't it. But I'll show you the tweets here. This guy coming back in more. Not understanding why people were upset with his article right here, where it literally puts a big picture of Drago saying, if he dies, he dies. There's more. Here's a Harvard professor talking about it. And then here's, I believe, okay, this is the Atlantic writer. So this is a blue check journalist. Journalists are tasked with putting legacies into full context. And so it's entirely appropriate to examine the Queen and her role in the devastating impact of continued colonialism. Yeah, right at hours after she dies, they jump on it because it's a trending subject. This is one of the reasons they do this. And they don't understand why people get upset about it, because they don't understand people. This is people that are supposed to investigate truth for people, and they don't understand people. They're the most soulless people, blue check journalists. Eugene Scott, real question for that now is not the appropriate time to talk about the negative impact of colonialism. Crowd. When is it appropriate when is the appropriate time to talk about the negative impact of colonialism? Here's a U of M professor. At this moment, the thought of Diana and Meghan are keeping my eyes completely dry. I'm surprised. I tried to weep, even for personal enemies and structural oppressors, and the U.S. media, entertainment, and education has gilded her. But yeah, telling the colonized how they should feel about their colonizers' health and wellness is like telling my people that we ought to worship the Confederacy, respect the dead, when we're all writing these tweets in English. How'd that happen, We just chose this language? A lot of people do, yeah. A lot of people choose English. It's easy to learn. The hardest thing about learning English, from what I understand, is the slang. So, it's just this is so bitter. First off, she's not your colonizer. You're American. Okay. So here's this. It's just, here's more. It just keeps going. More. Jeff Bezos actually fired in. So this is, who is this woman? I forget. Do they have her background here? Journalist? No, it's not Jeff. I don't know who this woman is. Cambridge Mellon University. Anyway, I don't know who this woman is right here. But you can see it right here, what she said. And Jeff Bezos actually jumps in and puts her, I was shocked that he did this. Says, this is someone supposedly working to make the world better. I don't think so. Wow. Him slamming this professor. It says it's a professor. I don't know where she's a professor, but of course she's a professor. This is the problem with liberal education, is you get a full-on progressive liberal education, like the liberal arts. Like if you go to any school, it's a very big liberal bias. There's barely any conservatives that work in universities anymore. In fact, they probably kick you out if they find out you're conservative. So it just gets radicals in there. But it's just disgusting. Here's this person just going on and on about it. It's just insane. So once again, a celebrity, big public figure, dies, and all of the blue check marks and people of Twitter, and the people of Twitter too, there were the usuals on Twitter celebrating as well. Every time somebody passes away. And the reason I like to show these videos, or do these videos, is to show just how nasty these people can be. People prop these people up, and they're always far left extremists or something. These people act like they want love and unity and all this shit, and this is what they do all the time. Nasty, disgusting people who do nothing but hurt society by going after people during times like this and using it to prop themselves up and try to get clout off of someone's death. And it's disgusting. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.